The Team Lally Show was previously recorded.
It's time to enter the world of real estate in Oahu with Hawaii's only true real estate radio show, the Team Lally Real Estate Show. Grab a pen and get ready to take notes. For the next full hour, Hawaii's premier real estate leader, Adrienne Lally, and Attilio Leonardi will bring you the latest in real estate news and real-world strategies on how they can guarantee to sell your home at a price and deadline you agree to, or they'll buy it. Now, here are your hosts, Adrienne and Attilio.
Welcome to the Team Lally Real Estate Show, home of the Guaranteed Sold program, or we'll buy it. If you have any questions, just give us a call at 799-9596 or check us out online at teamlally.com.
All right. Hey, everybody. This is the art part of the show. By the way, you can listen to us in the iHeartMedia app. And we also stream this on multiple platforms. What are the other platforms?
So we're on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, X.
Yep.
Oh, Instagram also.
Instagram, yeah.
Yeah, we're everywhere.
And if you're watching us on those platforms, you would see that our awesome assistant, Sheen, has posted at the bottom all the different places that you posted at. But if you're a regular listener to the show, you know this is the art part of the show. What is that, Adrienne? Art.
Attilio's Random Thoughts.
Okay, so I was thinking about this the other day, or in the last 7 days since we did the last show, and what I want you to write down is don't dump your destiny on other people. Don't dump your destiny on other people. And what I mean by that is that this statement will truly set you free if you 100% believe it. If you don't, then you're dumping your destiny on others. Your balance in your checking account, your waistline, and your relationships have something in common. What is it, Adrienne?
You.
They're close.
Yourself.
It's you and the choices you make. It's you and the choices you make. Oftentimes, I interact with people, and they want to ask me questions like, how do we become successful realtors like you and Adrienne? And then I say, here are the steps. And then I'll have that conversation with that person. And then here's what they'll tell me. Oh, great. Can you keep me up to date on any of the real estate courses that are coming up, or any of your career nights, or any of that? And then,
or any of your trainings.
Yeah.
Yep.
So what I call that is I'm giving you the plan, and then you still dump it back on me for your destiny. It's not anybody outside of your own self's responsibility to bring opportunities to you, to make changes in your life. And the only person responsible for what you have in your life or what you don't have in your life is the choices you make. Get out of that victim mentality that it's my boss. It's the career I'm in. It's the college degree that I have or don't have. It's the money in my checking account. It's taxes. It's who's running for president. Who are the politicians in control? They're all corrupt. You know what? Those are all statements that are just basically excuses for you to not have the relationship you want, the balance in the checking account you want, the career you want, and the waistline you want. It's all you. And right now, if there's some resistance to what I'm telling you, guess what? Still you. And so there's no like seminar, book, or podcast or thing to go to have this realization. You can accept it right now in this moment as you're hearing my voice.
Accept it. And then there actually is some personal development training that we recommend.
Yes.
PSI.
Yeah. There's a solution. Go to PSI. It's been in Hawaii for over 50 years.
It happens every 6 weeks.
Every 6 weeks?
Yeah. They have new classes. And
I would say that this it's a weekend of self-examination. I think Thoreau said it best. A life without self-examination is not a life worth living. And I will tell you that the number one challenge that people have, is that there's something about you that you may not even be aware of.
It's that self-awareness.
Yeah.
It's very important. We actually learned about that very topic at Family Reunion, our most recent, our convention that we went to for Keller Williams.
Yeah.
Where there was about 17,000 other agents there with us.
Yeah. And I will say that the number one thing that gets in the way of people or is the root of all conflict in anybody's life is what, Adrian?
The ego.
Is the ego. You know, it's that part of your brain that says, I'm right and you're wrong. It's the part of the brain that doesn't allow you to reach out to people who have wronged you and say hello. It's the part of your brain that doesn't allow you to apologize. It's the part of your brain that react when someone is upset with you, causes you to react in a way that you become upset with them. I was just in the parking lot. And I was going down the aisle, the lane of the parking at Pearl Ridge Mall. And there was a parking stall right at the end. And so I didn't make it, but I turned into it and I was kind of like cockeyed into it on this end stall. And then I needed to back up to straighten up, but there was a lady in a pickup truck like right behind me. And she's signaling to go into this parking stall.
Wait, was she going to do a reverse parking? Is that what had happened?
No, her front of her vehicle is right behind me, so she wasn't allowing me space to back up so I could straighten out in the stall.
Oh, okay.
So this is what 99% of you are going to do. You're going to wait there. You're going to get into a pissing match with her. You're going to get into an argument. You're going to step out of your vehicle and say, back the blank up so I can park in this stall. That's what 99% of you are going to do. What did I do? I got out of the car and I said to her, not in an angry tone, I said, oh, do you, because I put on my hazard lights to let her know that I'm not moving. I'm trying to park in this stall. And what I told her was, I just said, hey, do you want to park in this stall? And she goes, yes. Like I'm halfway into this stall. And so I said, okay. And I back out and I just go down the way. And guess what? Ended up parking somewhere else that was way closer to where I needed to be. Now, rewind that whole situation, put you in that situation. It's a big old altercation. Somebody's videotaping it. It ends up on social media. Two people arguing over a stupid parking stall. HPD gets involved, Pearl Ridge Mall security, and it's this big debacle. Or where else in your life is that showing up where you make that type of decision versus the other one, which is to go the way of peace versus adversariety? And it's all down to what?
The ego.
The ego. Speaking of someone that totally checks his ego at the door and helps you in that moment of truth, Adrian, who's that?
That would be Bradley Maruyama of Allstate Insurance with his tip of the week.
Hey.
Bradley, are you there?
I am here. Okay, tip of the week. Still a lot of chaos with the HO6 condo insurance. But what I want a lot of people to hear is that condominium, AOL, property managers, and insurers are still increasing the deductibles.
Yeah.
Pretty common to see $100,000 right now. But here's a tip. I've been seeing a lot of these mailers going out that says, "Hey, you have to increase your building coverage on your HO6 to $100,000, and also increase your loss assessment coverage to $100,000."
This is from the association to the owners, right?
That is correct.
Okay, gotcha.
And so a lot of the unit holders are getting confused because they're saying, well, Allstate's max loss assessment is only $50,000. What are we going to do? And it's pretty consistent with a lot of carriers. The loss assessment, many of them don't go up to $100,000. Okay, so I called the property manager, and what it meant to say was $100,000 dwelling or max loss assessment. And here's why. Every carrier interprets the loss assessment coverage differently. So for Allstate, in specific, if the deductible for an association goes up to $100,000, our building coverage will cover two things. It'll cover the damages up to $100,000 in your unit. Number two, if the if the loss in the building exceeds the deductible, which is $100,000, and my Allstate insured is the originating unit, that association is going to assess my unit owner. But our building coverage is what will cover that deductible. So in Allstate's perspective, our building coverage will suffice both. So my tip of the week is reach out. When you do get this letter, reach out to your insurance agent and find out, how does RLI, State Farm, First Insurance, how do they perceive or how do they pay out when a unit holder is assessed when the loss exceeds the AOL deductible? Very, very important.
So, and I was trying to see if I consider myself a pretty sharp guy, but I think I'm somewhat following you on all of this. So the association is saying you need 100K, but Allstate's max coverage is 50K, but for
loss assessment.
Per loss assessment, but if it exceeds 100K, they're covered by the Allstate insurance?
Yeah. Okay, let's rewind, because it is very confusing, because everyone. Yes. So our loss assessment coverage that we have the max for $50,000. This will insure a unit holder if there is a common loss to a lobby or a hallway. Okay, that doesn't necessarily mean an assessment given from the association for the deductible.
Gotcha.
Okay, so for Allstate's perspective, if there's a water loss to 15 units, and I am at 1601, okay?
Yeah.
And my pipe breaks and it damages 1501, 1401, all the way down, and now the damage is over 100,000.
Yeah.
Okay? At that point in time, depending on bylaws, that association is going to bill the deductible to 1601, the Allstate unit.
How much?
Because they are the responsible units.
Yeah.
It originated.
We're not going to pay for that deductible from loss assessment. We're going to pay for that deductible from our building coverage.
Gotcha.
That's
Which
why
covers
when people reach out to us, we increase the dwelling coverage up to 100,000. We don't touch the loss assessment.
Gotcha.
But the problem is we've been seeing some property managers say 100,000 loss assessment and 100,000 building. So then I'll call the property manager. I'll discuss it with Sue, and then for us, it's going to be make sure that your dwelling coverage is at 100,000. So an example would be Country Club Village. That was the exact example. Their document stated 100,000 dwelling, 100,000 loss assessment. I called them up and I said, our max coverage is 50,000. So that's when they said 100,000 dwelling or max coverage on a loss assessment. That's what it should read, because they did clarify that what I sent in would suffice.
Yeah, so the dwelling, you mean the actual unit. We say, what we say is that is from the walls in.
Mm-hmm.
Walls in. Building, some people call it building coverage, some people call it dwelling coverage.
Yeah, so you inside your unit, you see the walls in. Dwelling. And then walls out.
Building.
Building. You said building loss assessment.
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay.
Makes sense? A little confusing. It's very, very confusing. That's why you can call me too, even if it's not with me. At least, so on properties we cannot write HO6 on.
Yeah.
We represent RLI. So RLI, I had to even let my staff know this week.
Yeah. RLI
interprets it a lot differently. So in this case, we increased the loss assessment to 100,000 because we have the capability to, and they also pay out that assessment differently than Allstate. So I told them, you have to understand how each carrier interprets the loss assessment, the assessment for the deductible.
Yeah. Okay.
So bottom line, if you are in an association, high rise,
get the notice.
And you're confused, give Bradley a call. He will help to explain it and make sure that you have the best possible coverage that makes the most sense.
Yep. Because I think the worst time to figure that out is when some catastrophe happens and you're like,
be Be proactive. Be proactive and call Bradley and his team.
Yeah. And, Bradley,
and I know we do these calls every week, but, you just said that catastrophe. So while I was doing a class for my staff members, I told them, if someone's calling to, if they have a question on their HO6 or they're making a payment or just doing a change, I said, if someone's in a townhome, please offer hurricane insurance because it's not mandatory at the time of closing. And I said, can you imagine, instead of a fire that happened in Maui, can you imagine if there was a hurricane that came across the state?
Yeah.
And all these townhomes that don't have loss of use or contents coverage under townhome, they're going to be like, where am I going to stay?
Yeah.
And I said, I don't want to be that guy. So, offer it, document it, because I'll tell you, I called 10 people this morning.
Yeah.
Only one person was interested.
Well, I would say offer it, document it, and educate, because it's like,
Because what's the cost of something like that per year? Just for like a basic condo?
$150 to get some loss of use. Right? Yeah. Where do I stay if the hurricane wipes out my unit?
Yeah.
And then some contents to get you restarted back up once the association policy pays for the structure. So, again, a lot of people get confused. Oh, my association covers all of it. I said, no.
Nope,
it'll cover your 2-story townhouse to be rebuilt. But what about your contents and where are you going to stay? So after this big Maui fire,
a
lot of people are like,
that.
where do I stay?
Yeah.
I only got 10,000 of a loss of use coverage. That's not enough.
Yeah.
That'll maybe cover
or
a
I only
month or
got
two.
10,000 of rent loss insurance. That's not enough. Why wasn't I told? That's why I'm telling people if it's a rental and you want some rent loss coverage for your townhome, then you got to get this extra hurricane policy.
And it's a write-off. If it's a rental, it's a write-off. It's part of like the cost of doing business, right?
So remind me,
protect your business.
I got to tell Renee, call Callie and check my 2 properties.
Yeah, Tilio. Make sure that that's on there.
Oh, I better have that on mine.
Attilio's in a high-rise, so a little different. You can still get it.
Yeah.
But very important if you're in a townhome, because let's just say you're in Ewa Beach, and I noticed the last couple of hurricanes do hit the southwest coast, and now your townhouse is demolished or unrentable or unlivable. What do you do?
Yeah. Gotcha. That's good to know.
All right. Thank you, Bradley.
Okay.
Because we have it. Yeah, we have it on our single-family homes, but we don't think about the townhomes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Great reminder. Thank you, Bradley.
Have a great week.
Okay, bye.
Thank you.
All right, that was Bradley Maruyama of Allstate Insurance.
Yeah.
You can find out all about him and see some fun videos with all of his tips of the week on our Experts We Trust page on teamlally.com.
Yeah.
I have a review that I want to share.
Go ahead with the review.
This is from Riley Dunn. He left a review for Zenny.
Yeah.
Zenny reached out to me after I broached interest in one of Team Lally's properties, and I couldn't be happier that she did. Originally, I was just looking around the market, but what started there turned into a deep dive into what home buying in Hawaii really means and how to approach it as a first-time buyer.
Yeah.
As someone who is fiercely protective of their money, it was wonderful to use her experience to learn about my options and build plans for the future. So thank you for taking the time and making the effort to reach out. You've definitely scored a future client in me, and I greatly appreciate it.
Yeah. Typically we have, at this point, we would have a couple of other vendors coming on the line, but they're all busier in continuing education classes, getting better at what they do. So what I want to do is segue into the conversation. If you're an investor, we notice that this is about the time that we have investors that, maybe you bought your places back in the 80s, 90s, early 2000s, and it's 20, 30, 40 years, and maybe you're thinking, well, you should know, you ain't taking that thing with you to heaven.
Nope.
And so what's our succession plan with our properties? We're going to recommend what Adrian and I are doing, and that is that if you're going to be doing a 1031 exchange, and a 1031 exchange means that, what does it mean, Adrian?
That you are deferring those taxes into
the capital gains.
Yes, capital gains
into another property
of a like kind.
Yeah,
and we have had Kyle on to talk about the DST.
Yeah, So one of the like kinds can be the DST, which stands for Delaware Statutory Trust, and a lot of times people, will say that and they'll think like it's a way that you're owning it in Delaware through some kind of trust, and that's not it at all. Mm-mm. It's a way for you to partially invest with a group of investors into things like, I'm not sure if you've heard of these companies, Walmart, Amazon, CNN, companies like that, where you own student housing.
Or my favorite, storage.
Yeah, storage. Not sure if you heard of that concept, storage. It's where Americans take all the things that they accumulated and shouldn't have bought in the first place and should actually get rid of in a garage sale, sell, or donate. But instead, they put it in an apartment. They put it in an apartment
for their
and
stuff.
Then they pay extra because they want their stuff to have a view and have air conditioning.
So, my DST in this, I've got it in a storage facility that has multiple locations across, I think, 4 different states.
Yeah.
And it's just the cap rate just keeps getting better and better.
The cap rate means it's just what is the
my
interest,
return on investment.
your rate of return. Like if
I'm up to 10% cap rate.
10% of the value of it you're getting dispersed out, or however that works out. You're getting every month. You're getting income from it, and then the value of. So let's take a look at, like, you bought one. You own a condo or a single family home. You're getting income. And the value is increasing. But you got this third thing called tenants.
Yes.
And this fourth thing called headaches.
Yep.
And upkeep. And then also if there's debt on that investment property, that's on your credit. So when you invest into a DST, it doesn't, it's a non-recourse loan or debt. So let's say you had $1 million home with a $500,000 mortgage and you invest $1 million through a 1031 into a DST.
You have to replace the debt as part of the 1031 rules.
And that DST has 50% debt ratio, so your debt goes into there. And then...
but you don't have to get a mortgage. It's on the DST.
No, your debt goes into there, is transferred into there, and then that comes off your tax reporting. Also, too, there's
your credit reporting. It's not on your credit anymore.
So it's not, that part of your credit is not being tied up with that debt like you would on a normal single family home or a condo. And then you're getting income from it. Mm-hmm. And then there's a step up in cost basis. In plain English, that means that there's less capital gains or for when you go to do a 1031 or go to sell it. And then when you go to pass it on to your heirs, I think, and don't quote me on this, but then there's a greatly, or if it not eliminated, any kind of inheritance taxes on that.
They get a step up in cost basis.
Yeah.
That's what Kyle says. You
greatly reduce your inheritance tax.
Yes, you swap until you drop.
Yeah. And then the other thing, let's say you have more than one child. Mm-hmm. I think a lot of times when we talk to parents, they're like, oh, I bought this townhome over here, this house over there. And then they're like, okay, that one's for Sally and this one's for Jeremy and that one is for Lori. And I will tell you, 99.9% of the time, the kids don't want to live in those places, don't want to move back to Hawaii, and don't have no interest in living in it, though that's the reason why the parents bought it. When in reality, the reason why you're buying real estate for your kids is, again, for the growth in income.
Yes.
But instead of handing over the headaches of property management and also being tied at the hip to their other siblings and what they want to do with their lives, with the DST, there's no management headaches.
They own shares.
And if Sally wants to sell and go travel around the world, she can do it. She doesn't have to check in with Jeremy and Lori or the other two siblings. She can just go do it. And if they other two want to just stay in it, they stay in it, and they keep getting their income and their growth. So that's what we recommend, and that's what we do. If you want to have more questions, more intelligent conversations, get educated on the process of doing something with your, even if you just want to evaluate.
Having a strategy session. We've actually helped 2 different sellers with very similar situations that were facing over $200,000 in capital gains taxes and the recapture tax on their investment property. So we were able to strategize and create a winning strategy for them to avoid those those
Here's what I'll leave
right
it
now.
to you listeners out there, whether you're selling your own home or an investment property, we're going to sit down with you and educate you. And then you're going to say, well, what do you recommend? And don't be shocked or surprised if one of our recommendations is you don't sell.
Yep. Maybe it's just a HELOC. You pull the money out and then you go buy more properties.
So
that could be an option.
Come have a conversation
Yes.
with us where we educate you on what to do with your property. And one of the options may be, after we do some discernment and gathering of data, is don't sell. And one of them may be do this. And then one of them may be sell. Okay?
All right. So we are going to take a break, but stay with us. When we come back, we'll be talking with Kirstan Rogers of K9 Kavalry. We'll talk about the mission and programs of K9 Kavalry and how others can support their cause.
So stay with us.
Have you ever been in a financial bind? How long did you wait before you called in the experts? Aaron and Alexis knew they couldn't wait much longer. They were preparing to return to the mainland and carrying both a rent and a mortgage on their home in Mililani. It was definitely time to call my friends Adrian Lally and Attilio Leonardi of Team Lally Real Estate Group of Keller Williams Honolulu to step in and help. They dove right in and discussed the selling process, wasting no time. Adrian and Attilio prepared their home for market, and within 3 short weeks, the listing went live. But wait, not even a full week later, Aaron and Alexis had 2 offers on their home and closed escrow over the asking price. When you need to sell your home for the most money with the least amount of drama, trust Adrian and Attilio of Team Lally to do the job for you. Call 808-799-9596. That's 808-799-9596. Or visit teamlally.com, spelled Lally, Lally.
Taking one cash offer for your home doesn't have to be your only option. I'm Barbara Corcoran, and especially in today's current market, having a local real estate agent who offers great marketing and options that are customized to fit your needs is smart. In Honolulu, the agents I trust are Adrian Lally and Attilio Leonardi. They can give you a guarantee to sell your home, flexible fees, or up to $10,000 in cash to help with repairs. Get the option that's right for you. Go to teamlally.com.
Hey, Sean Hannity here, talking with the only real estate agent in your market I recommend. Adrian Lally and Attilio Leonardi of Team Lally Real Estate Group of Keller Williams, Honolulu. You know, it's more important than ever that you have your house in top condition when you sell it. Can you give some suggestions on how to do that?
Sean, homes need to be move-in ready. The basics are decluttering, depersonalizing, professional cleaning, and getting all the honey-do lists done. We have the resources to do a full remodel and or simple things like cleaning, painting, and landscaping.
How will that impact the listing price?
Ultimately, by working with a team of professionals with a ton of resources and strategies, you will net more money in a shorter amount of time. That's it. Let's go.
Great update. Thank you for keeping us informed. Put the most experience and the best marketing to work for you. Call Team Lally now at 799-9596 or online at teamlally.com. That's teamlally.com.
Welcome back, and thanks for listening to the Team Lally Real Estate Show, Home in the Guaranteed Sold program, or we'll buy it. I'm Adrian.
And I'm Attilio.
And if you have any questions, just give us a call at 799-9596 or check us out online at teamlally.com.
Well, just like our intro music said, the line in there is give it to me because I'm worth it. We're giving it to you on this radio show because all our listeners are worth it. Our guest today is not only a real estate professional, but is also a proud board member at K9 Kavalry, an esteemed nonprofit dedicated to offering dog training programs for US veterans.
Residing in Oregon with her family, her life is marked by a steadfast commitment to community and making a difference, showcasing how she seamlessly merges her passions with purpose. Please welcome today's guest, Kirstan Rogers.
Hey, Kirstan.
Good morning. How are you guys?
Good. And we're going to call you the portable speaker lady.
Well, thanks. I'll take it. That's a compliment.
You know, that I just, a side note here, when we were at our family reunion convention, there were, a lot of times you have an interactions or a presence with people and you don't even know that it's happening. But when we were going in to register, you were walking by us and it was like, all right. And we were like, bobbing our heads, listening to the music. And I didn't know if you were a realtor at that time because we haven't registered yet. We were all just walking in the same direction. I was like, oh, that's cool. bring some music to the masses. And then I think we were inside like the exhibitor hall. Then we ran into you again, and then we were the ones handing out all the crazy ribbons for the bottom of the name taggy things. And then the third one, and I don't think we didn't come tap your shoulder or anything, but we were walking with you out of the convention center from the Sunday thing.
Yes.
Inspirational
from
thing.
The inspirational breakfast.
So we had 3 interactions with you where you were bringing music to the masses and
joy.
Massive dancing and breakdancing was breaking out everywhere you went.
It is good to know that I made a lasting impression.
And people were smiling. We were looking at the people that, as you got closer to them, and they were smiling.
They were mostly smiling. There was one guy, he was...
one guy was on a phone and he was grumpy, but, he can go... He was in a corner for a reason.
Yes.
Because that's where the grumpy people go. They got to go stay in the corner. But, no, I think every single person was enjoying that experience. So let's talk about this K9 program, because that's another way that you're affecting people
and bringing some joy.
Bringing some joy in the world and some comfort to our veterans. Let's talk about this program.
Yes.
Thanks, Adrian. Thanks, Attilio.
Yeah.
What can I tell you that the world, should already know about K9K? I met up with Dan Regester, who is an outstanding individual. A couple years back, every year, when we close on a property, we always ask the individual, who would you like us to donate to on your behalf? And sometimes somebody might know a nonprofit, sometimes they may not. Mm-hmm. So as part of our 5-star service, we go out and we interview we interview several nonprofits, but we always have 3 that we fully support, whether they're for veterans or schools or pets. And we had met up with Dan, and just a fantastic individual, great human being, love his dog Ranger. He's now become, part of the family. And just what a great interaction that I said, we have to do more. Yeah. I need to do more. How can I give back even more? So we've purchased, Dano, K9K has purchased some raw land close by. We were able to get a group of community members together, some clients, some just amazing human beings. We were able to bring in some veterans of all Army, Navy, the Marines. They'll make a joke about crayons every now and then.
Yeah.
But we were able to just build this awesome space for these dogs, for these veterans, and allow that domino effect as K9K attributes to just reach that many more people.
Yeah.
So, Kirstan, what is the mission and vision of K9K?
The mission and vision, I want to say it stays pretty consistent, but that is just to provide veterans and active and retired military with the services that sometimes you might not always see on the outside. Every day these individuals go out and they fight, wars that are overseas, wars that are here at home, and not everybody knows how to reach out and ask for help, but working with an animal and working with the individuals that K9K has out there, and we're across the state, but it's to provide this connection and this community. You become part of the pack. And Casey's a great individual that's here based out of Vancouver, Washington. She's sometimes Dano's right-hand man when he's got so many different things going on. But it's 100% free. There is zero charge to the veteran to make sure their dog gets the gear that they need, the training that they need. It's just... I can't sum up, I guess, the mission and the vision, but just to continually impact in a positive way, free of charge, veterans that are out there that just need support. So I will make a disclaimer. We don't place dogs. We don't have a dog farm. We don't have dogs on standby. We strictly go in and help veterans train the dog, and we do it alongside the veteran. Nice. So you don't ship your dog off and have your dog trained, and then it comes back to you, this incredible human being, but or incredible canine.
Yeah.
So it's you and your dog come to this training together, and you leave together. right?
Yeah. Yeah, and Dano can do it, or the dog handlers can also do it via Zoom.
Okay.
They just work really closely. You can come to them with specific needs. There's a wonderful lady. I'll keep her name out of it just for the sake of confidentiality. But
yes.
I believe she was a part of a roadside bombing where there was some trauma there, and the adverse effect of that is she would have seizures. And so Dan would work with the dog so that the dog understood where to go, when to go, how to go, so that if this veteran was about to have a seizure, the dog would notice it, and they would go out and they would walk through a random Walmart or, just a local park. And he would say, I need you to do this so that the canine knows to do this. And he would focus on the canine. And in one of those instances, she actually had a seizure, and the canine did exactly what it was supposed to do.
Yeah.
And then when that veteran falls, whether it's in a store or out in public, she's not hitting her head on concrete. It's a wonderful relationship that you're able to watch grow right in front of you.
And I don't know if you know the answer to it, but K9, because people hear K9, they're thinking of like the German Shepherd that chases down the bad people. And I'm looking at your website, and it's all kind of dogs. It's just it's a terminology, but do we know what the K and the 9 actually mean? Besides, I know people know when you see a police car with a K9 unit on it, you know that there's a dog in the back, and that don't go up to that vehicle because it can tear your head off because that's his training or chase you down. Well, what does that mean, K9?
I think it's the nickname for what they get. We have several dogs in the pack. There isn't a one brand over another.
One breed, yeah.
Yeah, so K9 actually comes from an abbreviation of the English and French word for K9, which just means dog. So K9 is it's kind of a slang, but it's all based on words and English and French terminology. Yeah,
I know K9, and K9 may also be the Latin description for the breed, because you would say like K9 and then there's another Latin word. And so, yeah, I got it. People,
so any breed of dog can be trained to be a service animal for veterans.
It can't be a cat, because the cats are not a canine.
No, and we have dogs of the month.
Yeah.
We do a newsletter that Dana works really hard on. We have different levels of participation. So if you maybe don't have the foundations or the fundamentals to train, you can also support veterans, or you can do it on a monthly basis. You can say, hey, I want to give $10 a month. I want to give $50 a month. And so we make a monthly commitment every single month to give back to the canines. And then we're also here physically volunteering at different events so that we can help broadcast what they do and what they stand for.
And you never know. There might be somebody listening to this that says, hey, I'm on a mission to support veterans, and I want to, as we learn in Keller Williams, you notice patterns of success and you look at it that it's being modeled and you just duplicate it. So maybe somebody listening to this, they would reach out to you all and say, hey, I want to duplicate this in my state or my part of the country. And then I'm sure that you guys would be helpful in that way.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah. It's a fantastic organization to be a part of. We've got a great board that helps put that stuff out there. You can go to K9 Kavalry.org. Sometimes people will confuse that for Calvary. This is Kavalry, Kav, and you can get a lot of the information. You can meet the dogs and all their different breeds. We have a Winterhawks event coming up where we've kind of joined partners with the local ice hockey team. Ice hockey, well, I guess it's only hockey, but
yeah.
Anyways, you can purchase tickets to go to a Winterhawks game, and part of that proceeds go back to K9K as well. So just really fun, cool ways to support a veteran, be a part of a good cause, and just feel really dang good about every single day.
So Kirstan, with this training program, during any given time, how many dogs and veterans are getting this training? How many can you guys accommodate?
Oh, man. I don't actually know the maximum number of dogs that we've had on register at one time. Mm-hmm. That would be a great question for Dano. I can find that out and get you that answer.
Well,
good question, Adrian.
You guys have you haven't gotten to the point where you've had to turn people away. So that's the only number we know is that you'll make some kind of combination.
You'll make room.
Yeah, especially if somebody's traveling from out of state or from a long distance.
And then where are these veterans traveling from? Where do you see people coming from in the United States?
Well, we have veterans across the U.S., and so we also have dog trainers across the U.S.
There you go.
So they don't come always to Vancouver. In some cases, they will, and they'll do. We've had a chopper come in one time and land in the middle of the property.
Oh, wow.
It was so stinking cool, and you see everybody, and Dan's got all the flags that are up on display, blowing in the wind. There's just been some incredible events, pouring concrete out there, doing different trainings, different auctions. Dan will positively influence as many lives as he possibly can.
Awesome.
And he'll do it with a four-legged friend at his side.
Gotcha.
I love that.
So again, remind our listeners how others can get involved or support the cause.
If you'd like to, support is the biggest thing that keeps him going and makes sure that the veterans do not have to pay anything for these services. Yeah. You can go online to K9 Kavalry. It's KAVALRY.org. You can also reach out to Dano directly. That phone number is 360-967-9567. And we would love to help answer any questions you have. If you know somebody who has PTSD or maybe just has questions about how to get involved, maybe they actually have some background in dog training. Okay. Maybe they want to truly become a part of the pack. That's always helpful. We would love to just compound those effects and help even more people.
Well, awesome.
So Kirstan, how many? Yes, and how many veterans have you guys been able to serve and help since this program has started?
That number just keeps growing and growing. Nice. So I don't know if it's 36 states, and I'm gonna refer back to Dano on that question too. Sure. I'll get the updated. I'll do March stats. Just because it grows every day. So I'll get March stats for how many states we're in right now, how many veterans, and then I'll also do how many canines. Yeah. Sometimes dogs pass with age, and we show them love all the same for the service that they've done for our country and for our veterans. Nice.
Well, it's always good to see Keller Williams agents participating in doing good in the world, because that is one of our cultural values is that givers gain, and it's certainly a win-win situation. And I wouldn't doubt. Have you guys ever had the Market Center come out and do a red day for K9 Kavalry? Maybe down the road.
That is a fantastic idea, and interestingly enough, our motto is always find the win. Yes, and I love that ties in with K9 so well. We've done some really good Red Day events at local schools and some parks, but partnering together with K9 Kavalry would be an awesome piece as well.
Yeah, and just a shout out to Keller Williams everywhere. By the way, Keller Williams in the United States is in every small, medium, and large market, and Red Day is celebrated on whose birthday, Adrian?
On Mo Anderson's birthday.
Anderson. I think it's May 11th. Is it May 11th? I think so. Anyway, it's in May. It's Mo Anderson. She was one of the original founders of Keller Williams, and she was all about not just going out there and selling a bunch of real estate, making a boatload of commissions, but figuring out how we can impact our local communities everywhere. So if you see a whole bunch of people in red shirts in the beginning of May all across the country, it's not like some crazy sports fans. It's Keller Williams agents doing good in the community.
I have a picture. I have a selfie of Mo and I as my screensaver on my phone.
Nice. Awesome.
She makes me cry every year. She always talks about the amazing ways that we have an impact on people, and it's a good cry.
Yeah. Yeah, very inspirational. And
yes, and you and your this nonprofit, this K9 Kavalry, is an amazing thing that you're doing for the veterans and the community. And
here's the final question for you. Is there any kind of last situation scenario or any kind of question we should have asked you that we haven't that you want to share with our listeners before we send you back to the good works?
Any question
or story, or you got a knock joke? No.
No. What I'll end with is that, we donate out of every closing that we have because it's what we can afford. If it pulls on your heartstrings to help every month with a monthly donation, that's K9Kavalry.org/memberships.
Yes.
There's memberships as small as $10 a month. It's not a lot, but every little bit helps.
Yeah.
And if you're in a position where you can do a one-time donation, you can do that as well. You can support a dog by buying them a vest. Every single dog that comes on board, every single veteran that comes on board, they get an entire gear kit for the dog and for the veteran. So that's their leashes, that's their bowls, that's their work vest, everything that allows that dog to perform at its highest level for that veteran. So again, K9Kavalry.org/membership. If you want to see anything cool about the dogs, you can read about them too. You can also get K9K apparel if you want to support them that way too. So, and there's the veteran applications on there. If you know somebody who's suffering from PTSD, maybe they don't want to express that out loud.
Yeah.
Maybe just drop the name K9 Kavalry out there, and maybe they do their own research. But we would love to continue to help more people. So please make that introduction.
All right. Thank you so much. And then we were
thank you, Kirstan.
Screen sharing the website. There's donations and the different things you get, that opportunities it creates for your organization, anywhere from $10 to $500 and everything in between.
Yes, that's exactly it.
Okay. Well, thank you, Kirstan.
Well, thank you. Thank you for the info and all that you're doing for the veterans.
And we'll see you.
Appreciate it.
We'll see you again. Actually, we're not going to see you again. We're going to hear you again in Family Reunion next year.
Woohoo! Yes. All right. That sounds great, guys.
Okay. Thank you, Kirstan.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Have a wonderful day. Have a good week.
Oh, thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, so if our listeners want to get more info, we're going to have everything there for you in the comment section on our social media or on the blog post.
Yeah, or, you can go to our radio show, drop-down menu for our radio show on our website. That's teamlally.com, Lally. Again, we keep forgetting to mention this, but if you have any questions or you want us to talk about a specific topic, all you got to do is give us a call. The phone number is 799-9596. If you're listening to us on a different format, social media or this or that, and you want to go old school and listen to us on the radio, our show plays every Saturday at 10:12 a.m. on AM 830 KHVH.
Yes.
All right. What else, Adrian?
Oh, well, we've got a career night coming up.
Okay.
In our new location.
Uh-huh.
That's exciting. It'll be our first career night. We've just moved into a new space. We're still in Kapolei. Our main office is in Kapolei.
Yeah.
And we'll be...
Well, we followed our own advice. We decided to stop paying rent, and we decided to...
invest in our business.
Invest in our own office, and so that's what we have done. So we're excited to have those doors open and do a career night.
And it's on your birthday.
Oh, is it?
Yes, April 1st.
And it's not a April Fool's joke. We're not gonna we're not gonna punk you when you get there and be like, "What career night? This ain't no career night." And all of that good stuff. So speaking of which, we're always looking for superstars, and I don't mean superstar like everything and everything about real estate, or you're a top producing agent right now, even though we do have top producing agents that
have joined us.
Yes. Having their own experience and credibility to begin with well before they met us. But if you're thinking about making a career change, the questions that we're going to go over, Usually it's typically these three things. What does it cost? What kind of time are you looking at? What kind of income are you looking at? And then number 4 would be, what are all the different
roles,
things you can do?
Yes.
Roles.
There's a lot of different ways to make money in real estate and to serve people, just based on what your strengths are.
Okay. And the other thing that we want to talk about, current market conditions. So we are noticing that more and more people are showing up at open houses. So that's,
things are picking up.
Things are picking up. So that's an indication that people are settling in. The shell shock of the higher interest rates, going from 2-3% to 6% is wearing off. It's becoming the new norm for now. And people are it's finally sinking in that you date the interest rate but marry the home. What does that mean, Adrian?
Well, let's secure that home, and then we can refinance when the rates drop. Yep. We are seeing a lot of people they're either asking for big credits to buy down the rate or to do the temporary buy down. That is one strategy. Yeah. And then the other strategy that we're seeing is people are just putting a lot of cash down, or maybe it's like all cash so that they don't have to deal with the interest rate right now.
I would say too that for you sellers out there, here's the challenge. You're like, how do I find an agent? Most of the time, it's two things. It's two areas that most people are looking at. They're either going on the internet and typing in whatever, Kapolei Realtor, or they're getting a referral from somebody.
Or maybe it's their past agent.
But we've seen the statistics. Very few is the past agent. So I would say that if you're looking for an agent, a great way to interview us is go to our website and take a look at our Google business page. And what are they going to see there? That's a good indication that maybe they should not necessarily sign with us, but interview us.
Well, we're over 500 reviews and an average rating of 5 stars.
5 stars. So it doesn't mean like, oh, yeah, we got like 500 reviews and a 1-star average because we got a lot of people complaining about us because we're knuckleheads. No, it's more about people being excited and complimenting us with their experience. So don't take our word for it. Take a look at all the happy clients and in all of those reviews. And again, we're not assuming that we get your business because we got a Barbara Corcoran commercial, or we've been doing a radio show, or we've been doing this for 18 years, or that we have resources to help you get your home ready for sale, like money we'll actually invest in your home.
And even, I would say, advanced strategies to help you save on taxes.
Yeah, none of those are reasons why you automatically should walk in the door and sign with us. They're just definitely reasons why you should at least interview us.
That's right.
All right.
Okay, well, thank you for listening, and thank you to our sponsors.
Jody and Derek of Pacific Rim Mortgage.
Bradley of Allstate Insurance.
Kenji with Pillar to Post Home Inspections.
John with Kilauea Pest Control.
Duke with the Hawaii Pacific Property Management.
Robinson of Fine Line Paintworks.
Jake with Go Local Power.
Scott of Zero Res Hawaii.
Amphi with the Estate Planning Group.
Jason Wu, Attorney at Law.
Jeff with the Loan Depot.
Rhino with Hawaii Unified.
And Janice with Dreamhouse Drafting. If you want to get a hold of any of our sponsors, it's really easy. All you got to do is go to teamlally.com.
We want to give a big thank you to Leah Rodriguez, our producer here in the studio.
She rocks!
Make sure to tune in next week. We'll have an awesome guest talking about something that'll change your life.
Forever. This is the Team Lally Real Estate Show, home of the guaranteed
sold program. We can't sell your home at the agreed upon price in our time frame. We'll have it bought for cash. Thanks and aloha.
The preceding program was sponsored by Team Lally.